I woke up and entered the living room to find breakfast already set on the table. Yukari's work, no doubt. I found a piece of paper lodged under a plate of sunny side-up fried eggs. It read, "Please eat before you go to work. I'll be making dinner too, Yukari." She even wrote with a calligraphy brush, as refined as ever, clearly. The author in question seemed to have already left for school. Seriously sucked to have to get up so early in the morning. I had no idea how I'd survive that period of my life. At any rate, I decided I'd head for the office as soon as I finished eating. Though it would have been quicker to get to Huchu from here, I had to go pick up my notebook first, and I felt naked investigating without it. It also occurred to me that I should summon Uozumi to the office. Traveling around would be all the easier if he brought his car.
さて、行くか。
I gulped down the rest of my cold miso soup, rose from the table, and decided to get going. I took the Seibu line to Shinjuku and headed down Yasukuni Street to my agency. The place was as clean as I'd left it the other day. Yeah, I know. Shocker. I opened my desk and retrieved my notebook. This longtime partner of mine had helped crack many a case over the years. I used it to jot down information on all the people I met and all the intel I gathered. To top it all off, it even came with a handy map. It was everything I could ask for and more. Speaking of which, this seemed like a good opportunity to record everything I'd learned thus far. So I sat at my desk and scribbled away with a pen.
このくらいか。
I looked up from my notebook just in time to see the hulking shadow of a man behind the glass office door.
おうレジ。
Oh look, who owes me? What a twist.
こっちは準備できてるぞ。現状を見に行くんだろ。
I stood up, pocketing my notebook.
ああ。と言っても、すでに3日経過しているからな。今更何も残っちゃいないと思うが。
それでも現状に行けば何か見つかるもんさ。
I headed out at Uozumi's behest.
ここからだと中央線で武蔵境まで行って玉川線の玉墓地前で降りればいいな。
ちょっと待て、魚住。
I halted Uozumi in his tracks and glanced
お
around.
前、パトカーで来たんじゃないのか。
Indeed, no such car was anywhere in sight.
トヨペットの新車が配備されたばかりだって。
バカ野郎、緊急時でもないのに使えるかよ。切符代は出してやるから行くぞ。
分かったよ。
I gave up and followed Uozumi to Shinjuku Station. Much as I wanted to take his new car for a spin, it probably wasn't the smartest idea to risk the public mistaking me for a criminal getting hauled off to the slammer.
お疲れ様です。
お、ご苦労さん。
We reached the crime scene after being greeted by an officer on standby.
ここか。
The graveyard was silent as well. Grave. There was a chill looming over the grounds, and it wasn't winter's doing, that was for sure. Most murder scenes were like that. Wasn't exactly a believer in ghosts and spirits in this era of science, but even I could tell the aura here was off.
さあ調べてくれ。
待てよ。この状態で何を調べろってん
Alright,
だ。
do your thing.
気になったところを調べてみればいいだろう。
だったらそこをどいてくれ。
I pushed Uozumi's gargantuan frame aside and checked the crime scene. Nothing. There was only one spot that seemed even remotely noteworthy. Is it this hole in the ground? Part of the ground was excavated and discolored. The hole wasn't that deep though, just 20 centimeters or so, give or take. The cemetery was shrouded by fog. Crows were cawing everywhere, even though there had to have been far better places out there to make themselves a home.
第一発見者の供述は取れているのか。
ああ、見つけたのは近所に住んでいるじいさんだ。夜中に墓場で何かが燃えているのに気づいたらしい。最初は鬼火だと思ったんだ。
人玉には時期がずれているだろう。
Probably would have made for a rather pleasant evening if it had been summer though.
どちらにせよ仏がいたのは確かだからな。そして通報してきたわけだが、夜中にも特に不審者などは見ていないらしい。
音はどうだ。悲鳴やら何やら聞こえなかったのか。
それもなかったようだな。車は何台か走っていたらしいが、まあ街道沿いだからな。
つまりは車で来たとしても絞りきれないわけだ。
Would have been nice if we could somehow find out which cars visited the cemetery, but that seemed like a pipe dream.
一応調べておいてくれないか。
期待はするなよ。
I say I don't know which spots are different from what other spots. Yeah, I don't. Am I done?
ここに埋められていたのか。
Okay, I forget that sometimes you have to click on things multiple times to get the full inspection.
ああ、うつ伏せで寝かされ、膝下だけが折られて地表に出ていた。そこに火をつけられていたな。何かわかるか？
焦るなよ。後でゆっくりと考えるさ。
Indicated the ground around the desecrated soil.
発見時に足跡は発見されなかったようだな。念入りに地面が鳴らされていたらしい。
そうか。
Anything else? Okay, is that everything? That's probably all. That's probably all. Probably all. Probably all. That was probably all. Yeah, that was probably all. Are we sure? Anything else like along the edges here? That was probably all. Okay, I swear to God, if you say I missed something. As we started issuing orders to the nearby cop after I finished my investigation. Time had come to put my thinking cap on and review what I'd learned. Oh, reasoning? Oh, Christ. Though with that said, I didn't precisely have much evidence to go off of. Made me wonder if we could even make an arrest when we only had a general profile of the culprit. First order of business was considering the evidence left at the crime scene. I flipped through my notebook. The only trace remaining of any crime was the body, the corpse, yeah. That's the only trace that there was a crime. Nope. The fuck? What? Bullshit. The only trace remaining of any crime. What? I don't, what do you mean? The crime scene? Right, the hole in the ground. Okay. It would have been far too shallow to completely bury the body. The culprit simply placed the body down and covered it with dirt, which made it hard to imagine that was done to hide the body. I doubt that was what the killer had in mind, judging from the state in which the corpse was found.
ちょっとシャベルを貸してくれないか。
I addressed the nearby cop.
どうぞ。
ありがとう。
Stuck the tip of the shovel into the ground near the crime scene.
おいレイジ、あまり現場を荒らすなよ。
分かってるよ。
Started digging. The ground wasn't all that hard, so it was a simple task. Excavating 20 centimeters or so would hardly take longer than a
時
jiffy.
間がなかったか。それともタイ
Stopped digging and contemplated the matter. No, if time were the issue, they never would have tried hiding the body by digging in a place like this to begin with. But if the culprit was weak, then why would they even bother digging? That'd be some method to their madness, but what? I'm sorry, what? The fuck did you just say to me? There had to be some method to their madness, but what? The corpse?
そうだ。遺体を隠すのが目的なのではなく。
足が逆さに突き出ているといや、そんな映画があったな。
犬神家の謎だろ。あれも確か見立て殺人の話だったな。
But if that was what we're dealing with, then what in the world was our killer alluding to?
第一発見者の話では、まるでろうそくか松明のようだったらしいぞ。
ろうそく。
I hadn't actually seen it myself, so I could only imagine. Pictured a foot blazing brilliantly in the dark cemetery. Maybe it had been some sort of religious ceremony. By this point, the more I thought about it, the more lost I became. I needed more information.
魚住、遺体の解剖は済んでいるのか。
司法解剖と鑑識結果は明日わかるはずだ。そうだ、お前も明日は高田の馬場に来い。
Ozumi placed a hand on my shoulder like he concocted an ingenious plan.
高田の馬場って
There's only one coroner I could think of in all of Takadano Baba. She just so happened to be the craziest doctor on earth.
他の医者に頼めなかったのかよ。
俺に観察医を決める権限なんざね。
Said the guy with a shit-eating grin on his face. It was a look that screamed, if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me.
じゃあ残りは明日だな。
Guess I meant my work was done for the day.
お、また明日。
By the time I said goodbye to Ozumi and made my way back to Kichijoji, evening was already upon me. Now what? Should I make a pit stop somewhere or head straight home? Well, apparently I don't get the option to go straight home. Okay. Okay. Maybe take a look at Inokashira? Maybe that's the move? See what's going on in the area? I'm feeling it. I arrived at Inokashira Park. Although it was chillier than during the day, it was still nice enough for me to enjoy a walk or a break here. And it just went to show how close spring was. Decided to take a leisurely stroll through the park. But just as I approached the pond,
ゆかり
I saw Yukari frantically reaching for the water from the levee. What did I just walk into? She really needed to watch herself. I was worried she'd fall into the water any second. Ooh, interesting, interesting. Interesting. Let's see what happens first. Decided to just keep an eye out for her, though I had no idea what she was up to. So maybe she's trying to like keep something secret, and like if she sees, if he like calls out to her, it'll surprise her, and she will fall in. You know. Did she drop something? Oh, hey, you're gonna fall in.
何をしてるんだゆかり。
兄さん、手伝ってください。
Yukari faced me, eyes brimming with tears.
どうした
I moseyed on over to Yukari and studied the pond before us. Carp were poking their heads out of the water, rupturing the surface with ripples.
恋だな。
She been feeding them?
溺れてるの。ほら、あんなに口をパクパクさせて。
The fish are drowning! Holy fuck. Was this some sort of prank?
なあ。あのなゆかり。あれは溺れているわけじゃないんだぞ。
でも、あんなに苦しそう。
Holy hell. Girl, I don't know what grade you in, but you seem more than old enough to know that fish don't drown. What the fuck? What kind of education have you been receiving? What have the Catholics been teaching you? Dear God, no, don't let the fish drown.
お前が手をかざすから餌をくれると思って集まってきたんだよ。
まあ、そうだったの。でもごめんなさいね。
Yukari apologized to the carp. I was glad she understood, but
本当にお前は自分の好きなこと以外
yeah,
は
no
全
shit.
くものを
She
知
can
らな
talk
い
about like bugs and the different and all the various intricacies of bugs, but she doesn't know that fish don't drown. Fucking Christ, girl.
昆虫の生態でしたら問題ないのですけれど。石鹸水ではアメンボは溺れてしまうとか。
That's great, sweetie. No one asked. My sister was such an odd bird. Seriously. I've come to notice. I have more than come to realize this. My sister's fucking weird. I know. Okay, we can either go back to Shinjuku, stop by the office, or we can go to Moon World, talk to Kyoko and Hatsune. So we do have options. We do have options. Huh. That's the thing. What would be waiting? What could we do if we went back to the office, right? That is the question. Like, you don't know what's waiting for you on either end. And we have a good idea for what's waiting for you at Moonworld. Let's not get that one twisted. You know, if you go to Moonworld, you're probably going to run into Kyoko and Hatsune. But then the mystery's up in the air. What's going to happen if you go back to the agency? Or, you just fucking go around Shinjuku, maybe see something else around there. I don't know. Against my better judgment, I'm gonna play it safe. We're gonna go to Moonworld. See what Kyoko and Hatsune have to say. I dropped by Moonworld. It was the perfect place to kill some time. Not only was it literally close to home, but it was also just a single train ride away from my office in Shinjuku. And that, and the coffee was good.
いらっしゃいませ。あ、時坂さん。
やあ、雨宮さん。
We exchanged greetings before I headed into the cafe. Took my usual seat at the counter.
京子は
But Kyoko was nowhere to be found.
京子さんでしたら出前に行っています。
おや、雨宮さんが言っているわけじゃないんだ。
私はまだこの辺りの地理がよくわかっていませんから。
この辺りは狭い道が入り組んでいるからね。散歩でもしながら覚えるといい。
Hatsune nodded energetically.
あらあら、仲良さそうじゃない。
あ、京子さん、おかえりなさい。
Kyoko flashed a teasing smile as she returned from her delivery and made her way back behind the counter.
なんだ、やきもちか。
そうよ。時坂くんに初音ちゃんが取られちゃいそうで。
京子さん。
冗談よ。
冗談はいいから、誰か俺にコーヒーを入れてくれないか。
ごめんなさいね。
Kyoko started prepping coffee on the double. Phew, now this was the Moonworld I knew and loved. That aside, it wasn't me sure saddled me with one hard nut to crack. I heard this was a deranged crime, but I still had the slightest inkling of what was going on in the killer's head. Why would they set the foot on fire? Why did they take the left arm and nothing else? Were this and the other case connected? Would there be more crimes like this in the future? Quickly I realized all I was accomplishing was giving myself a headache. There was no point racking my brains when I barely had enough information to go off of as it was. Kyoko served me a cup.
どうぞ、時坂くん。
ああ。
I took a sip of the steaming cup of joe. The acidic taste stung my throat. After a moment of contemplation, I decided I was in the mood for something a little different today. I reached for the sugar bowl. However, it was empty. Guess I should ask someone to refill it. Interesting. Nah. No, we're not feeling it. What if we're not feeling adventurous today? I don't like that. I don't like you have sound effects for your choices. I don't like this. I can fuck around with it all I want, but like... I like the fact that they light up. That's nice. Don't like these dings. Don't like these dings. Anyway, yeah, forget it. Yeah, screw it, I don't need any. I continue drinking my coffee black. Pretty good. It was sharpening my dulled senses like a whetstone.
疲れているみたいね。
久しぶりに厄介な仕事だからな。
時坂くんも魚住くんも無茶しやすいたちなんだから。
俺は無茶なことはしないさ。もう30だぜ。
私だって同い年じゃない。それとも何？
そこまで言ってないだろ。
Of course not. Thus I was subjected to Kyoko's belly aching until sunset. I returned home. The lights were on. Hikari must have returned already. I had suspected what I'd find waiting for me the moment I saw those loafers in the entryway. It was true that I considered someone might drop by, but I wouldn't have put that note on my agent's door otherwise. Still,
どちら様ですか?
a man I'd never seen before was reclining on the sofa. He appeared to be a mild-mannered individual in his 50s. I could instantly tell he wasn't some kind of burglar. Besides, neither Nikata would be naive enough to serve coffee to an intruder.
ああ、これはこれは。
I don't like your
時
looks.
坂礼二さんですね。私は大場女学院の教頭をしております。
Man rose to his feet and politely bowed. Oba Girls Academy. That's Yukari's school. What in the world was its vice principal doing here?
まさかとは思いますが、ゆかりが何か問題を起こしたのですか?
違いますよ兄さん。
Yukari popped in from the kitchen.
時坂さんは優秀ですよ。部活動でも皆をよくまとめています。
佐伯先生は兄さんに仕事の依頼があるそうです。
仕事?
はい。時坂さんのお兄さんが探偵業を営んでいらっしゃると聞き及びまして。
Saiki looked dead serious. Well, I guess it wouldn't kill me to hear him out at least. After all, some jobs were simple enough where all I had to do was give some advice and then bam, done. And even if it wasn't that easy, I could just refer him to the guy in Ueno. Problem solved. Whatever the case, I wouldn't want to slight someone who came all this way asking for my help.
どういったご用件でしょうか?
I gestured Saiki back to the sofa and quickly followed suit. Yukari watched from afar with a tinge of concern in her eyes.
ええ、大場女学院でのことなのですが、今年に入ってから学生が2名。
Two of the students went missing, 2 bodies have turned up.
失踪?
まず、1月の半ばに西園結衣という学生が行方不明となりました。
No!
そして2週
Not
間前、
Yui!
今度は今村遥という学生がいなくなりまして。
Not Yui, no! No! Fuck, dude, come on! We don't know Imamura, but we know Yui. Nishizono? No! 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 Oh, yep. That's who Yukari was talking about early on when she mentioned that a student she knew had gone missing. Of course, it was someone from her art club. It was, no. I liked Yui. What the fuck? Come on. Yui was cool. I was hoping to see more Yui. God damn it. So, apparently, the killer has Yui's torso, and whoever the fuck Imamura is, he has her left arm. That's the thing, I don't know what he did to Yui. I mean, I know what he did, but, like, I don't know if it was quite as fucking weird as what he did to Haruka, but, I mean, if what happened to Haruka is anything to go off of, Yui probably didn't have the best time. No, man. The fuck? That's such a bummer. That's such a fucking bummer, dude. Yui was cool. I liked Yui. She was nice. Fuck. Saiki laid out the facts with the practiced concision of a professional.
警察には?
もちろん伝えてあります。ですが、一向に進展がなく。
そうですか。
Couldn't say I blame the police, though. They're probably trying their best. It's just that due to the many different possibilities for disappearances, running away, kidnapping, suicide, homicide, accidents, it was nearly impossible to scrounge up information without witnesses.
誠に恥ずかしい話なのですが、我が学院は世間体というものを気にするあまり。
It's like he dolefully hung his head.
自分に謝らないでください。謝るとしたら、行方不明となっている学生さんのご家族でしょう。
ええ、分かっているのです。
It's like his voice crawled to a whisper. This had to have been rough on him as well.
二人の行方不明者ね。
Wait a second.
現在、別件で殺人事件を扱っています。そこで、身元不明の少女の遺体が2つ。
まさか。
まだわかりません。
Psyche practically sprung off the sofa upon hearing what was surely the first potential lead he had in ages, but I held up my hand and just shook my head.
ですが可能性は捨てきれません。佐伯先生、この
If these cases turned out to be connected, then I'd be killing two birds with one stone. Death was staring me right in the face, and yet my mind was working out its next courses of action as coolly as ever.
ありがとうございます。ところで、あと一つお願いがあるのですが。
何でしょう。
実はこれ以上の被害を出さないためにも。
話がよく見えないのですが。
What are you gonna hire him on as some kind of like assistant?
学生たちに不審がられぬよう臨時講師として学内に入ってもらいたいのです。
God damn, it's just like Lost Judgment.
臨時講師
Yeah, all you have to listen. You come in as like a club advisor, you know, something like that. I don't know. And then you just like you investigate, the goings-ons of the students, you know. Come on, it's classic Lost Judgment. I wasn't following.
聞けば、時坂さんは世界史に造詣が深いとか。ですから、世界史の講師として学内で目立たぬよう調査活動を行っていただきたいのです。
それは
Would probably prove quite difficult. Even if the two cases did happen to be connected, keeping me bound in one place would very likely curtail me from investigating the murders.
兄さん、私からもお願いします。
Kata chimed in just as I was wrangling over the matter.
大丈夫、心配するな。
Turn back to Psyche.
どなたか教師の中で女学生の行動や心理を把握していらっしゃる方はいますか？
養護教諭でもよろしいですか？
Oh, hot nurse?
ええ、十分です。その方にはお話を伺うことも多くなるでしょうから。
それはつまり、その他の教師にも内密にしておくということでよろしいですか？
そうですね。ご理解が早くて助かります。
わかりました。それでは。
何分他の調査もありますので、常勤というわけには参りませんが、できる範囲で協力したいと思っています。
ええ、もちろんです。それでは、非常勤講師として赴任するということで。
ええ。
We got up and exchanged handshakes. Seemed things were about to get real busy around here. I returned to my office in Shinjuku on the last train after Saiki went home. We decided that I'd begin my investigation at Oba Girls Academy on the 8th. Still had plenty of time until then, so I had to accomplish everything else I could in that time. The first order of business was checking the results of the autopsy tomorrow. Ozumi told me to head to Takadanon-baba. There was a medical coroner I knew who worked there. It's just, man, weird to even begin to describe her. If it weren't for work, I would have filed a restraining order on her eons ago. Turned off the lights, flopped onto my sofa, and wrapped myself up in a blanket. As I faded into the deep embrace of sleep, my mind flashed back to my fiancée, who was taken from me 6 long years ago. Oh? The edge of curiosity hunting. I see. Yep, I was like, there's more text.
市電が通り過ぎていく。どの路線も色をなくした人でいっぱい。少し前までは華やかな着物を身にまとった人も多かったのに、今はもうモノクロームの人の群れ。サイレント映画のように誰も何も喋らない。色をのせよう、華やかな色を。この閉塞した世界を明るく変える色を。そのくらいしか私にはできないから。私は青がいいと思った。あの人は赤がいいと言った。
Uh-huh. March 6th, Autopsy Day. Woke up to the most nauseating sight imaginable. Wow, what a statement, because that, unfortunately, is where I'm going to have to end this recording session for today. I'm interested. Y'all got me. Yeah, like I said, so far this has been interesting, very interesting. I know, like, obviously I haven't read too many murder mysteries, so of course I keep jokingly making references back to the Judgment series because those are just my favorite murder mystery stories. But no, I'm liking it. I'm liking the setup. I like Reiji. I like him. He seems like a dope dude. I like the goofballs, Tsuzuliko and Hatsune. Love them. Goofballs. We love them. Yukari is nice enough. Bit of a fucking weirdo, but nice enough. Very curious to see, because clearly the cases are connected. All right, let's not be idiots here. Clearly, one is connected to the other. Clearly, the two missing students connect back to the two murders, which is very unfortunate because Nishizono seems so nice. Yui seems so nice. She seems sweet, and I would have loved to see more of her. Does that mean we're gonna start seeing the others start pop up though? Like Orihime was one of the ones, and then Ayumu, who was Yui's friend. Right? Are they gonna pop up as well? And then maybe even Yukari might be one of them. Potentially. He's going down this rabbit hole, and like, who knows? Yukari may end up being one of the targets. It's possible. Like, the killer's still got to collect an arm and 2 legs, and then they're gonna struggle with the head. Right? Because that was where they got to. They got everything but the head, but then they just couldn't quite figure it out. At least from what that little prologue scene showed us. Very interesting. Very interesting to see how everything comes together. I'm interested to see how my choices end up playing a part in this, because I imagine it's going to get more to the point where it's like you have to choose between going to this spot and going to this spot. This spot could get you a lot of information. This spot might do something else. This spot might give you some information, but it's not necessarily information that's helpful, but maybe it could detract you from the true answer, kind of fuck up where you're going. Maybe, just maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I'm interested to see how the story progresses, how everything comes together, see what it's all about, see just how fucked up it can get. Because just, the fucking scene we saw with the second victim, that was fucking wild. And if we get any more of those, that's just, that's going to be a time. But yeah, like I said, I am going to wrap it up here for today. So it's either going to be a quick transition or a new video, but regardless, I'll see y'all in the next recording session. Until then, peace. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to some more The Shell, or Kara no Shoujo. In the previous recording session, we kicked everything off. We met Yukari and a few of her classmates, and then we met Yukari's brother, who was the main character of the story. Reiji, was that his name? Reiji? That sounds right. Reiji's a detective, and then all of a sudden there's this case that pops up where people are being dismembered and these corpses are popping up in strange ways. They believe it's a serial killer, so the chief of police, who's good old friends with Reiji, gets in touch with him and says, "Hey bud, we need you on this case." And of course Reiji, he likes his grisly cases apparently, and he's just like, yeah, no, I'm there. And we're starting to realize that so far both of these victims, well, potentially, I don't think, has it been confirmed that both of these, yeah, kind of, because there's been 2 victims, and then the principal of Yukari's school comes in and says, "Hey, 2 of my students have gone missing." So we kind of connected to the dots there that these victims have been students from Yukari's school. I came to the conclusion that most, if not all, of the students we've met thus far are probably going to wind up dead at some point. The principal offered Reiji a job at the school undercover, and I started making Lost Judgment comparisons because I love Lost Judgment, but I believe that's about all the major stuff that happened in the previous recording session where we just left off. Reiji had passed out for the night because today, the next day, he has to go visit the coroner, and apparently the coroner is some crazy bitch. I don't know, but we're about to find out. So without further ado, let's jump back into it, shall we? Let me click into the game. I woke up to the most nauseating sight imaginable. Jesus. Off rip, I can't even speak, huh? Imaginable.
やっと起きやがったか。
Oh, hey, bud.
朝っぱらからむさ苦しい顔見せるんじゃねえよ。
てめえが起きねえからだろうが。
お前が来るのが早すぎるんだよ。
もうすぐ昼だぞ。ほら。
I reluctantly stood up.
仕方ねえ。行くか。
After changing into a wrinkled button-down shirt, I left my office.
おい、上住。
どうした？
パトカーで来たんじゃないのか。
だから緊急時以外に使わねえって言っただろうが。くだらねえこと言ってねえで。行くぞ。
Wilson grabbed my arm and hauled me off. However, he led me north of all places.
おい、上住。駅は西だろ
高田の馬場だったらここから歩いた方が早いだろうが。
Wilson said that like it wasn't his problem. Bastard.
う。2キロ以上あるだろうが。電車を使わせろよ。
口を動かしている暇があるなら足を動かせ。
He wasn't going to listen to me at all, it seemed. This, when it'd be so simple to just take the Yamate line on the police's tab, too. I gave up and settled for glaring daggers into Ozumi's back as I followed him. We arrived in Takada no Baba. So many syllables. After a 30-minute stroll up Meiji Street.
体が温まっただろう。
腹減った。
It's just got me hungry. Since I'd gone on a long walk right after waking up, my appetite was of far greater concern to me than warmth.
飯だったら諦めな。これから行くところを考えれば
True.
食わない方がマシだぜ。
That is true.
分かってる。
Grabbing a bite to eat just before hearing an autopsy report didn't sound very appealing, that was for sure. This place was not for the faint of heart, especially not those who blew chunks just hearing about gore. To make matters worse, you could very well end up an audience to a live autopsy if you played your cards wrong.
レイジ、
お前が行けよ。警官だろ。
お前の方が扱いは慣れているだろう。
We were negotiating right in front of the clinic for some reason,
最近来てないから入りづらいんだよ。
though there was more to it than just that, of course.
いいから行けよ。
待てよ。まだ心の準備が。
何しとるん？
A voice suddenly ambushed us from
お
behind.
人の顔見て悲鳴あげることあらへんやろ？時坂はん？
Yeah, no, she definitely gives off crazy vibes. I just met her and already I'm like, I get it.
いや、いきなりだったから。
I turned around and apologized to the woman, Natsume.
むっちゃ傷つくわ。うちかて一生懸命なのに。
何にですか。
時坂はんが来る言うからせっかくおめかしまでしとったんよ。
俺は単に鑑識の報告を聞きに来ただけですよね。
あら、そうなん？しゃあないな。二人ともお入り。
Natsume winked at us before creeping back into the clinic.
やっぱりレイジに任せるわ。あの人の応対は。
We were taken not to a waiting room or sick room, but rather the very heart of the operation itself. The autopsy operating room. Though I'd never heard of any actual surgeries happening there, so just autopsy room probably sufficed.
押して。何が聞きたいん
350?
井の頭公園と多摩霊園の仏のことだ。レイジのやつが詳しく知らんから一つずつ行こう。
せやな。ほな最初のバラバラから行こうか。
Jesus. Wow. I mean, I guess, you know, being a coroner, you're probably not gonna be too, you're probably gonna be a bit, you know, desensitized to these things, maybe a bit insensitive about it, but... Oh yeah, the bitch who had all her limbs hacked off, but her torso is nowhere to be found. Oh yeah, a little Miss Humpty Dumpty there. Like, damn, bitch. That's fucking rude. Natsume grabbed a stack of papers off her desk after she said that. I whipped out my notebook in preparation. Wait. Man, wasn't Miss Humpty Dumpty Yui?
2月29日未明、武蔵野市吉祥寺の井の頭公園で若い女性のものとみられる遺体。胴体は未だ発見されていない。池もさらったそうだが。
身元は分かっているのか。
それが分かってへんねん。頭残うとる言うても腐ってボロボロやしな。
妙なところ。
まだまだ寒い季節やろ。ほいでもウジが成長しすぎてんねん。仏さんの腐敗具合と一致しひんのよ。
Oh. So the killer's trying to cover their tracks, try to hide the identities by fucking planting maggots early on. Yeah, didn't he do that when we were watching this, when we had to see the second, like, torture scene? Weren't maggots involved at that point? I feel like they were. I know there was the whole he shoved an egg up inside her, which, God. I feel like maggots were involved at some point. That's when I flipped through her documents.
腐敗の進行は2月末ということを考えると死後1週間以内や。せやけどウジの大きさはだいたい1センチ。12日ほど経っとんねん。
誤差じゃないのか。
2倍の違いは誤差言わへんよ。まあ冷凍保存されてたら分からへんけど、そうなると腐敗もウジの成長も止まっとるやろしな。
I was indeed curious.
あとな、一応指紋は取れたんやけど、警視庁にあるリストじゃ該当者は見つからなかったらしいで。
捜索願いが出されていても指紋などの資料は揃わんからな。
ま、他にいくらでも調べる方法はあるからええんやけど。
血液型は？
ほとんど血残うとらへんかったけど、一応
Didn't
A 型っ
exactly
ちゅう
have
ことは
much
分
left
か
to
っ
go
た。
off of. Fair enough. I nodded as I scrawled all that down.
他に特筆すべき点はなかったんですか？
あるで。考えようによっちゃこれが一番重要かもわからへんな。足の切断面に生活反応があったんよ。
生きている間に足を切られたってことか。
Oh, yeah.
せやな。でもな、腕からは生活反応が出てへんのや。
足を切断され、出血多量で死亡。その後腕と頭部を切断。
かもしれへんな。
次は3月2日、府中市の多摩霊園で発見さ。こちらも被害者は若い女で、左腕を切断されて埋められ、足には灯油をかけられて火をつけられて。
This is the murder I'd investigated.
こっちはなんぼかわかりやすいんよ。なんせ仏さんがほとんど残っとったし、はっきりしとることも多いしな。
はっきりして。
まあ順番に行こうか。まずは死亡推定時刻やね。こいつは3月1日夜7時から0時までとはっきりしとるんよ。
Natsume sounded very sure of herself.
ほら、足に火つけられとった言うやろ。それで足の筋肉に再硬直の跡があったんよ。死後5時間以内に人工的に硬直を解いたっちゅうわけや。
火をつけた時に動かしたということですね。
おそらくな。せやから発見時から遡って5時間以内に殺されたっちゅうのが確実や。
そうか。少しでも犯人に近づく手がかりはない。
せやな。ああ、肝心なの忘れとったわ。仏さんの身元な、1日の夕方からいなくなってた小泉圭っちゅう学生さんや。
Did we meet Kei? Do you know who Kei Koizumi is? I don't think so.
身元が分かったんですか？
腐敗もしとらんかったから判別は容易やったんよ。
Natsume tossed the documents onto the desk.
今んとここんなもんやね。時に時坂藩。
Yeah, boy. She abruptly changed the subject.
あの子ってあいつですか？
There's only one person I knew who Natsume ever called that.
せやせや、お土産があるんやけどもちょいと持っていってくれへん？
なんで俺が。自分で持っていけばいいじゃないですか。
It wasn't like he lived all that far away after all.
だってあの子てれややさかい、なかなか会うてくれへんのやもん。
知りませんよ。魚住にでも頼めばいいじゃないですか。
魚住はんはおまわりさんやさかい、こないのこと頼めへん。
A chill ran down my spine. Whatever this was, I wanted no part of it.
なあ、うち時坂藩しか頼れる人おらんねん。
I tried to turn to Ozumi, but the sneaky bastard had bailed on me. Yeah, I was gonna say the fact that he isn't saying anything.
ああ、わかりましたよ。届ければいいんでしょ。届ければ。
おおきに時坂藩。この借りは今度ちゃんと返すさかいね。
Damn it. This is why I didn't want anything to do with this. It was already evening by the time I left.
腹減った。
still hadn't eaten all day.
時坂はん、お土産の中は食べちゃあかんで。
食いませんよ。
I was about to leave with the package in hand when I suddenly noticed something.
夏目さん、看板がおかしくなってますよ。
The clinic sign read Akashiro Clinic.
おやまあ、しゃあないな。やっぱ適当にやったんが間違いやったかね。
Natsume sighed as she looked up.
開業するときに土片つければ済むし、ちょうどよかったんやけどな。
そりゃ適当に書いただけだったら。
ほいなら油性ペン持ってくるさかい。時坂はん書いてな。
なんでよ。
ええからちょいと待っとき。
Run! Natsume headed back to her clinic. Sighed wearily. I wanted to leave, but knew that'd only make things worse for me in the long run. And so with great reluctance, I brought out a stepladder from behind the building.
お待たせ。ほいじゃよろしく頼みますぜ。
I placed the ladder against the wall, climbed it, and added the missing letter.
ああ、そっちの看板も頼みますぜ。
Natsume barked out orders as she played around with the sign on the ground.
これでいいですよね。
やっぱ自分の名前が入ってると気合の入りようも違うんやろ。
I love
時
just
坂
saying
探
that.
偵事務所の探偵はん。
That is actually great. Just seeing the little fucking symbol added right next to it. Oh, that's awesome.
だったら夏目委員にでもすればよかったじゃないですか。高城さん。
あかん。うちは兄弟行さんおったさかん、下の名前で呼ばれなわからんくなんねん。だからちゃんと夏目ちゃんって呼んでな。
Not suck me, huh?
んな呼び方したことありませんから。
I'm curious what the actual joke was in Japanese. I don't know how she flipped her name around, but if the fucking localizers changed it to not suck me, I can only imagine. Wow.